Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream, Full House Edition. I'm Richard. I'm Richard on the MakeCode forum.
Oh, it's Joey. Joey Wonder on the MakeCode forum. I'm not used to people being here, but me still being first.
Yeah.
I'm Kim at Kim Codes on the forum.
And I'm Thomas at TH Sparks on the MakeCode forum.
Well, and so today we were going to work on our operating system game, but I was like, I want to do something else because I had a fun idea. So we're going to do something else, I think. If people really want to see the operating system thing, don't worry, we're going to come back to it. But I think everyone's going to have a lot of fun with the thing that I'm doing today. So,
Did I hear a cat?
What?
Did I hear a cat?
Oh, can you hear him?
I heard a cat, I think.
Oh, yep. He's in a crate next to me, Breakfast the cat, who is protesting because he is in a crate, but he was protesting much louder when he was in a room upstairs, and those are his options. So
Nice.
Okay, so today I want to do something that we've wanted to do in Arcade for a long time, which is I want to make a horror game, a scary game, and I think we're gonna have to tone it down because I think we could make a pretty scary game. So we're gonna have to tone it down a little bit so that we're not, terrifying everybody. But I want to make a horror game, and then here's my basic plan. Here's the idea that made me want to do this today. So have you guys ever played first-person dungeon crawlers?
Yeah.
Not really.
All right. So this is a very
Is
retro
that a specific game or just a genre?
genre. It's a very retro genre. There are still games that are made this way, but I think it's primarily associated with like old games where you are kind of locked in this view thing, and you usually have buttons to turn and then move forward, backwards, left, and right. And you just kind of walk through and you encounter things. Like a goblin will pop up in your view, and then you have to battle the goblin, and then you keep going. You just kind of get through the dungeon this way. So I thought it would be fun if we made one of these, because I was trying to think of like, how do we make a game that's spooky in arcade, where it's kind of everything is 2D and you can kind of see everything that's going on. And I think that people in the forum who have been making horror games have the right idea, which is you have to use the raycasting extension first. Just make it so that, because then you have things that are blocked out of your view, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you still want to be able to move quickly. And I think that the first-person dungeon thing lets you do that. You can mash the buttons and run away really fast if you want to.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And this also lets us do spooky lighting, which I'm planning on doing. So we have, let's take a look at what the raycasting extension gives us. This is Aki's raycasting extension, by the way. You can read about it on the forum, or it shows up in our extension dialog. But so this is the basic first-person dungeon view, right? And you see, we just have one tile going on, and it's all kind of the same. There's no lighting or anything. But it's really easy to add lighting to this thing because we know where we are in the map. And we know all we have to do is every time we move, we make each tile away from us a darker shade. So we just shade them that way, as we get farther and farther away. And we end up getting this kind of view effect. I don't know if it'll look good, but we'll try it and see if it looks good. And so I figure we can switch to the grayscale color palette or something like it, and then kind of make a spooky dungeon that way, where the lighting is like really dark. And then eventually, once we get this like movement and stuff going in, and we have a really spooky vibe going, we can go into like what we want to actually do for the game. Like, do we want to have stuff pop out at us? Do we just want to make it really spooky? Like, I don't know.
You want to have that infinite hallway where you're never quite making progress into the end of the hallway?
Oh gosh, that's pretty spooky.
Yeah. Also, to be clear, I'm a wimp. I don't play horror games because I'm too scared.
But do you watch horror movies?
Yeah, sometimes. But
do you have inspiration?
Yeah, I do. And also, there's a game that I kind of have in mind when we're working on this, which I will say this is a rated M game. But it's World of Horror, which is very aesthetically pleasing. It kind of has the graphics from Macintosh games. So everything is black. It's only two colors, black and white, and everything is pixelated. And it's just real spooky and cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that was like Junji Ito game? Is that accurate? Or
Heavily
inspired by? Okay.
But yeah, not specifically, not actually Junji
Not in
Ito.
collaboration. Yes.
Mhm.
Wow, I just
None.
Googled that. There's some creepy looking stuff in there.
Yeah, it's cool though, right? Like it looks really good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we could, and that game is not, it doesn't have like things jumping out at you or anything. It just kind of creates an extremely creepy vibe, you know? So we could go for that as well. But anyway, do you guys sound excited about this plan? Does this sound fun?
Yeah.
Let's
What's
do
the
it.
game called again? World of Horror?
Yeah, World of Horror.
I'm looking it up.
All right, let's give it a shot. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to try and make that lighting thing happen. So I was just playing around with this to make sure we could get well, I don't know. Maybe we should do, before we do the lighting, actually, let's do the movement. So right now we move with just the basic controls that you get when you add the raycasting thing to your project, which is you move around with the arrow keys, forward, backwards, and left and right turn. So what we want to do is we want to make left move you forward one tile. I'm sorry, forward move you forward one tile, backward move you backward one tile, and then left will turn you 90 degrees, right will turn you 90 degrees. And we'll, animate between those things. We're not just going to snap. So let's give that a shot. And I'll preface this by saying I've never used the raycasting extension before. I've played many forum games that use it, but I have not used it myself. So this is going to be a learning experience.
Yeah. How integral is the shadowing type of thing that you were talking about, like to the game you're designing, I guess?
I think it'll just be really cool. I'm not really making it that
Okay.
integral. Why?
Okay. I was just trying to think of I haven't used the raycasting extension that much either, and I don't think I've seen anything similar to that, so it'll be interesting. We'll see.
I'm pretty sure we can make it happen. What I'm talking about, Joey, is not using the lantern or anything. I'm just going to change the tiles on the tile set.
Yeah. Oh, like the wall. Okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of it as like a foggy type effect, which wouldn't make sense at all. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
What tile map are you currently using?
So I just put in some random things to test this out. I wanted some hallways, so this is what my tile map currently looks like. I drew these bricks in 10 seconds. So
pretty good for 10-second bricks.
You change these two.
Yeah,
Are they?
They are
They
pretty
got
good.
the spooky vibe, yeah. Like everything's just slightly off, right? Like some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, and one's cracked.
I guess that's what you get for rushing. It's like a double black line right here, but it does kind of work in the raycasting thing, doesn't it?
Yeah. I thought
Yeah,
this
looks
was
good.
like a built-in gallery thing or something.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I literally drew this in like 10 seconds. All right. So let's go ahead and try and do this movement. So I think the first thing I'm going to want to do is turn off the movement that the extension gives us. So if we go into 3D render, so you have a sprite which represents yourself. And so I'm going to just turn off the move with buttons. So here we have move with buttons with velocity. I'm going to make this 0 and 0 for turn speed. And let's see how that works. Cool. So now I'm pressing the arrow keys and I'm not moving at all, which is what we want. All right. So we're going to make a variable which is going to be facing. This will be our angle. And we're going to set this to be 0. And by angle, I mean, we're not actually going to store degrees or something. We're just going to store 0, 1, 2, 3, because, there's only 4 angles we could do. Well, actually, no, do we actually have to store angles? Because if we want to do a turning animation.
It might be easier if you actually store the angles. Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's do that. So we'll say this is an angle. I'm going to set this to 0. And okay, this takes in a view angle, which is already in degrees. So that's nice. So I don't actually have to add Joey's sprite util extension yet. It'll happen, folks. Don't worry. All right, cool. So the simplest thing to do here is we're going to make a move to function, I think. So here we'll do move to. This is going to take in a sprite and an X and a Y. And if you're thinking move to, haven't you guys written that on stream 10 million times? Yes, we have. We're doing the exact same thing again today. So we are going to, actually, I do need Joey's extension for this. So I don't need it, but it's going to be a lot nicer if I add it.
Didn't take long.
Yep, didn't take long at all. Guys, I got a new mouse and it's a joy. It doesn't lock up randomly. It glows with nice little rainbow colors in a way that's not intrusive.
Do your cats chase it?
They chase it on the screen for sure, but I mean, Otto does. Breakfast isn't normally down here when I'm working. Breakfast just likes to lay on my keyboard. Okay. Classic cat thing. Shadow doesn't do as much. All right, so we're doing move to. We are going to grab inside of sprite utils the distance. Oh, we're going to make another sprite right now. This sprite is going to be the classic new variable math sprite. Gonna add a kind. It's decoration. And so the math sprite. So all of the blocks in sprite utils take in 2 sprites. And so if you want to do something like measure the distance between 2 points, it's helpful to have a sprite because then you can just set it to the position and then measure the distance, and I don't have to code up the whole distance formula. Same thing for like angles or things like that. So whenever I'm using sprite utils, I very often add a math sprite, which is just a transparent sprite with a kind that I don't use anywhere else. And I only use it for these math operations and not for anything else. No, yeah, it's a system. It works for me. All right, so we are going to do, or actually, you know what? I'm just going to edit this function. Instead of doing an arbitrary move to, we're just going to do move, and we're going to take in a Boolean, which is forward. Cool. Okay. So we are going to do from sprite, we are going to place our math sprite. Angle is going to be our facing angle, which we are going to have to convert into radians. So degrees to radians. Oh, wrong one. And distance is going to be, we want to move 1 tile, so we're going to move 16 pixels. And once we've done that, then we are going to actually move. One thing though, we want to, we have this forward Boolean, so we're going to go ahead and do, if we're forward, we're going to just go in the angle. Otherwise, we're going to go in the angle.
To math sprite. You just swap sprite and math sprite?
No, because we want to animate. We don't want to teleport.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it took me a second to realize why that was wrong. So we're just going to add 180 to our facing direction. Okay, now that we've placed our math sprite, we are going to move. And so to move, we are going to set our velocity. So, we'll use the sprite utils for that. We're going to set our velocity at angle, and the angle is going to be, we could just use the same thing that we're doing here, but we're just going to use the angle from math sprite. I'm sorry, my sprite, sprite to math sprite. And I'm realizing now we don't actually have to use math sprite at all, but whatever, I'm just used to doing it this way. With speed, I don't know, 100. We're gonna change this in a second, and then we're gonna pause for some amount of time, and then we're going to set our position like this. Set angle to 0, set distance to 0, and we want to place a sprite on top of math sprite, and we want to set our velocity to 0. So what are we doing? Okay, we are placing the math sprite. We are changing our velocity so that we are going at the angle from sprite to math sprite. We're pausing for some amount of time. Then we are placing our sprite directly on top of the math sprite and setting our velocity to 0. We do that to make sure that we don't drift. So I'm going to press forward. Oh my God. Give me a quarter.
Gotta call the function. Yeah.
Thomas hasn't even been on very much, and he knows what that means.
Yep.
You know what's most spooky about this game? We're already a ghost. We can go through walls.
What?
That'd be a fun
Yeah,
horror
Joey,
game where you get to play as the spooky monster.
You have realized the issue with the thing that I was going to get to, but oh, hey, looks like clearing our velocity isn't. Oh, I'm setting velocity at angle and speed 100. That'll do it. So forward. There we go. All right, we're moving forward.
Cool. That 100 works pretty well.
Yeah, I got to say that 100 is almost correct. Is barely off. We'll calculate it properly in a second.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Thomas, noticed the special case I added for when you're above 50 quarters. It adds oof to the end of the message.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And I've been over that amount for a long time. I now owe almost $22, it seems. So that's cool. If we ever talk about who owns the most of Tapioca, it's me. But it's all right. I can share. Okay. So we're going to calculate the time to do this. And what we're going to do is actually we're going to say what time we want. So let's do 100 milliseconds. I think that's fine. And we're going to calculate that right now, what our speed should be. So speed is in pixels per second. So we're just going to grab the distance from Sprite and MathSprite. And we need to divide that by our time. So we want to do 100 milliseconds, but we want to convert that into seconds. So it'll be 100 divided by 1,000, which means we can just multiply the whole thing by 1,000. So if we just do the distance divided by 100 times 1,000, and change this to be Sprite. Put that in there, throw this away. And now it should look pretty much the same as it did before, but now it'll actually be, it was a little glitchy before if you looked really closely.
Yeah.
And now it's not. All right, cool. So we can move forward and backward. It's kind of hard to tell because we're not really in a. It'll be easier to tell once our lighting is done, I think. But for now, because the tiles are all uniform, it's kind of hard to tell. But it's all right once we see this hallway. I can see we're going right. All right, cool. Let's move to. Let's do turning. So we are going to now set a. Oh, one thing also. If I hit up or down a bunch of times. Actually, this is fine. I'm okay with this behavior. So I was going to say that what happens when you pause inside of a button event is that your button press is actually queue. So if I pause for 100 milliseconds, if I press the button more than once, it's actually going to run twice. It will run, and when 100 milliseconds are over, it will run a second time. But actually, I think that's the right behavior in this case. Normally, I have to work around that. But in this case, if you're like running, mashing works perfectly fine in that case because 100 milliseconds is so short that, you know, it works out. So we're just going to keep that behavior.
By the way, it only queues up like one, right?
I think it's 5, maybe.
Is it 5? Anyway, it's not enough that if you're mashing it, you're going to go on forever. It's just going to be like an extra 200 milliseconds, 300 milliseconds even.
Mm-hmm. There's a maximum queue is what we're talking about. All right, so we're going to do turning now. And one important thing, we do need to store a Boolean for when we are moving. So let's do that right now. Variable moving. And the reason we have to do that is because while it's good to have the queuing behavior for when I'm just moving in the same direction, if I press forward and backwards really fast, I'm not aligned to the grid anymore. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm not aligned to the 16 by 16 grid anymore because I'm moving forward and backward at the same time, which is causing some weird stuff to happen. So we need to make sure that we can't do that. If we have one of these button press things running, we want to make sure it's the only one running. And so we're going to put in if not moving, and then we are going to set moving to true right here. And we're going to set moving to false at the end of this function. So that'll stop it. I can now, mash up and down to my heart's content, and I will stay nicely aligned to the grid. All right, and this is also going to be important for when we do turning, which we're going to do right now. So let's go to functions, and we're going to make a function which will be turn. And we are going to take in a Boolean, which will be clockwise. Why am I doing that? We'll just turn right or left. Why would I bother confusing myself by putting in clockwise? Here we go. Turn right.
Technically correct. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I should have put in Widdershins and anti-Widdershins.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are we going to do this one? Well, we have this set view angle, right? I don't think we have a thing to animate that, so we're going to have to animate it ourselves. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Yeah. So what we're going to do here is we are going to do a, let's see, do you think I can just do a repeat? $90 times. Pause. 1.
I mean, this will take 90 frames, right? Pretty much.
All right, well, let's just see how bad it is.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to set our start angle to facing, and then we're going to wait. We don't even need to do this. We don't need to store our angle because we're just going to be changing it by 1. So change facing by 1. Pause 1, and we're going to set our view angle to facing every time we do this. And so let's go ahead and go and do a right button press. And we're going to go ahead and call our turn true. And I don't actually know if this is going to be, it is right. There we go.
Huh.
It's
Actually
almost hard to tell which direction it's going in.
What?
It's almost hard to tell what direction it's going in, at least for me.
Really? I think I can tell that. I don't know. Thomas, what do you think?
I need
Are
to
you
check
watching
this
on the Twitch
actual
stream?
stream, not on
Yeah.
Teams.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You need to watch on the actual stream, Kim. Teams gives you the simulator basically 1 frame per second.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, Teams is horrible.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do if right, we're going to change by 1. Otherwise, we're going to change by -1. It doesn't matter if they're negative. Angles still work when they're negative. And we'll go ahead and put this on our left button press. Oh, but first we are going to do the same thing we did for this move to. We're going to grab this if not moving stuff that we did. So I'm going to pull this out. And we're going to do the exact same thing. So we can't move while we're turning. We can't turn while we're turning. Turn the opposite direction while we're turning. It's going to be doing the same check. Okay, so now I can turn right, move forward. Turn left is turning me. Oh, I forgot to change the Boolean in left. There we go. So turn right, move forward, turn left, moving forward. I think we're not actually starting aligned to the grid. So that's something we're going to have to fix.
Just place players at location of current tile map.
Yeah. That's much better than what I was going to do. So thank you, Joey.
Looks good though.
It does look good, yeah. Maybe we should make the turning a little bit faster, just a little bit.
The slower the turns, the spookier the game.
Dun dun dun.
That might be true. I don't hate this turn speed. Okay, we'll leave it as is for now, and if I get too annoyed by it, we'll switch it back.
Or maybe Thomas is right, and we should lower it to 0.1 per sec per turn.
Really,
just
what we
repeat
need
900
is...
times.
You want me to do that? You want me to do that, Joey? Is that really what you want me to do?
Clearly, what we need is a sanity meter, and the lower your sanity, the slower you turn. That's what all horror games need.
There you go. That's a spooky
Was that in
turn right
Amnesia?
there.
Oh boy.
That is the cinematic turning speed.
Yeah, if the movie is I'm trying to remember what there's like an 8-hour long Czech movie, Satan Tango. A movie I have not seen and know nothing about except that it's like 8 hours long. Okay. Change by 1. And change this back to 90 because right now we're doing woo. There you go. All right, so we want to go ahead and place ourselves on top of the location. So we're going to grab the tile map location of, and this is a handy trick for if you do need to align to a tile map grid. So we're going to place the myself sprite on top of the tile map location of the myself sprite, and this centers you on whatever the tile you put over it here. So if we put the location in, then we will be centered, like Joey mentioned. So now we're perfectly centered on the thing, and because we're moving in these increments and we're snapping it after you move, it is keeping us on the grid. Okay, well, I like the movement queuing for the moving forward. It's really annoying, actually, I think, for the turning, because the turning is so much slower.
Yeah.
Like if I mash,
I'm gonna get dizzy.
Just keeps turning. So let's fix that. It's easy to fix this. All we have to do is we're gonna grab the timers extension. Confusingly named, but very useful extension. And we're going to grab a separately do, and this will just run anything in a separate fiber, or thread. So I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff inside of a separately do. So let's look really carefully at what I did just now. So I did not take the set moving to true and put it inside the separately do. That's important because once I go ahead and do this in this other fiber, if I were to press the right button a few times, there's a chance that a few of these would run before this fiber actually got a chance to run. So we could end up getting the wrong behavior of it having run multiple times. But if we set the moving to be true and then spawn the thread, then we don't have that problem. So that's why I did it that way. But we need to have this second one be inside the thread because this will just execute immediately. So now I can match, but it doesn't queue like that. Okay, next thing we need to fix is our magical ability to walk through walls. Which
it is spooky to be a ghost.
It is spooky to, well, it's more spooky to be around ghosts than it is to be a ghost, I think. I think once you're a ghost, spookiness doesn't phase you quite as much as it used to because the threat of death has been taken out of the equation.
I don't know. I know one big movie where it's a spooky movie and there is the final thing. It's the final thing you learn.
Are you talking about The Sixth Sense?
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, the most spoilered movie of all time.
Might be.
I have not seen The Sixth Sense, but I know the twist.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't.
Gotta go watch it.
I know it's like M. Night Shyamalan's like good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But All right, so how do we fix this, issue? Well, we're just going to go to our move to function. And before we start doing the moving, so we're going to place our math sprite. And then before we do all of this business, we're going to put in an if, and we're just going to check to see if the tile that the math sprite is now on is a wall or not. And if it is, then we don't move.
Mhm.
The main reason we're having this issue is because we are transparent.
No. So the reason we're having this issue is because we're setting our velocity in that direction, but then we are actually placing ourselves at that location.
Oh.
And if we place ourselves at that location, it's gonna.
Yeah. Yep. That makes sense.
You're allowed to place yourself into walls because you're taking that explicit action, or through them if you go really fast.
There you go. So making sure I keep this moving false out of here so that we don't get stuck to never move again if it happens to be a wall. There you go. Now I can press forward and I don't go forward. Move over here and.
Okay.
It would be nice. We might do this later, but I want to get on to doing the lighting thing. It would be nice if when you try to move forward, you like move forward and bounce back. So it indicates that you can't move forward.
Yeah, that would be a nice effect. Like that.
So we'll do that. Actually, you know what? That's super easy to do. Let's just do it right now. So we're going to do this else case. And what we're going to do is we are going to set our velocity like we were. We're going to pause for half the time, so like 50 milliseconds. And then we're going to move our math sprite back. Hey, Ben.
Hey, a full party in the house.
Yeah.
Math sprite? Do we need to? We
Let's
just
see,
180 the angle.
True. Yep. So we can just take our angle and, I need to put this inside of degrees to radians. Well, no.
Oh, we need to copy this. No?
3.14. There we go.
Ooh.
I know, imprecision. Okay, so we're going to set our velocity from the angle from sprite to math sprite. We're then going to pause for 50 milliseconds. We're going to set it to be the backwards velocity, the back to our original place. We're going to pause for 50 seconds. Then we are going to clear our velocity and align ourselves back to the grid. So grab this and do a place on top of the location of like we've been doing. It's important that we stay on the grid. So.
Do screen shakes work in this? I think that's where you're going for the town application.
I don't think they do, but we can try it and we'll see if that's an effect we like. It might be cool.
Yeah.
There we go. Bam, bam, bam. That's maybe too fast.
It doesn't look like anything at all to me around the team.
Oh yeah, on the Teams call, this won't look like anything. But it definitely.
Oh wow, that is intense on the
Yeah,
live.
maybe it's a little too fast.
Yeah, that's
Maybe we're just moving a little too far forwards, and maybe it's a little too fast.
Kind of how
Yeah, let's just cut the speed in half. So we'll just change this to be 200.
I definitely feel like I got a concussion from that.
That's a bit better. Let's make it even slower. We'll do 400. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. That's better, I think.
Mm-hmm. And this actually adds a little mechanic in, right? Because like all real horror games, if you get too stressed out and you just button mash, you're going to be behind when you hit a wall.
Wish we could insert the Doom guy sound effect when you try to interact with something in the classic Doom.
We can definitely put in a sound effect here.
Ooh, that looks nice when you're going backwards.
Yeah. I think this is good. I think this works pretty well.
Nice.
One thing that's kind of a bummer is I don't like that when I'm here, I can't see that there is a hallway to the left.
Oh, when you're already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, like it looks like you're approaching a dead end.
We
that
need
what
an
you mean?
FOV slider in this. Actually, is there an FOV?
No, I mean, so you can tell right here that I can turn left or right because this is flat.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
Um,
Can you
but
have a mini map on here of where you are?
we could do
like
that. That
bottom
might
right?
take away some of the horror elements, but I think
That's
it's
true.
I like mini maps, and we could make it so that you fill out your own mini map, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that little
There
exploration.
is FOV. Oh, there's an FOV. We can see if we like it if we just increase that to like 130. View angle, I guess.
No, view angle is the what I'm using to do.
Oh, that's what you're using.
Yeah.
It says default FOV at the top, so it might be next to that.
Kiwi Phoenix says there is FOV, so there might be.
Maybe it's in the drop. No, I don't know where it is.
Like this. FOV, there we go. I don't know what values. I don't know what
180.
unit this is in. Okay, I'll try 180.
This might be
Great.
weird.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa!
Ooh.
I feel
Something's
like
happening.
Okay, let's set this to 2 and see what that gets us.
maybe we should take default FOV and multiply it by 1.4.
Wow, look at it. Look at Numbers McGee over here.
What is FOV?
Field
It's
of
field of view,
Field of
so
view.
how much you can
Oh, that
see.
makes sense.
1 point. You said 4, right?
What is default 90
Sure,
or something?
I'm just making up numbers.
I think default is actually just 1.
Oh, well, that would make sense, I guess. That makes it easy.
There you go. Kind of has like a fish lens effect going. Anyone else seeing that?
I mean, that's like a real life. That's like how FOV sliders in game and end up if you go too far.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can definitely tell now.
Yeah.
Here, let's do a little bit more subtle. We'll do 1.8 and we'll leave it at that. And you know, once we start doing the lighting effect, we'll see if we still like it or not.
Yeah.
So speaking of, let's do the lighting effect. So Ben, just a little thing. We're making a horror game.
Nice.
And the thing I want to do is we're locked to like a first-person dungeon crawler perspective. So you can move forward, you can move backwards, you can turn left and right. But I think what the other thing we want to do here is to make this spookier, we're actually going to switch to the grayscale color palette. And we're going to make it so that as you get farther away, each tile is going to get darker. So we're going to do a little faux lighting effect.
Okay.
So first things first, we got to go switch our color palette. So go over here. And who do we have to thank for the color palette switcher?
Ooh, I
think
wonder
it's
who
a
it is.
combination.
Kim put in the color palette switcher.
With your help, thanks.
Anytime. Okay. So cool. We have a wall right here. We're gonna have to add a bunch of the wall copied into. Oh, this looks cool already. We're going to have to add a bunch of the wall. Wait, do we use the color palette for the walls? Oh my god. Seriously?
Huh?
That's going to be difficult.
I
That's
guess it
hard
makes
to
sense
see.
because they are like it is written as a color.
Right.
It is written as red, but
How did
I
we
wouldn't
never
have
run
expected
into
that.
this before?
I haven't. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, a similar thing happens if you go make like a song in the song editor, then everything's grayscale too, which isn't great.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Wait, it shouldn't be.
try it out.
It yeah, we saw that the other day. It was funny.
It's not.
Wait. Oh, okay, it's the preview.
It's the
preview, right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the preview makes sense. I was going to be like, this doesn't make any sense if this is messed up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go over to back to blocks now that we've set our thing. And There we go. Now we are less spooky, I would say, because everything is bright white.
Yeah.
Anybody here played I'm Scared?
No.
It's
Nope.
like a retro looking horror game that's actually pretty scary. If you just look up an image, you'll see like one of the faces of the thing that
Oh,
chases you
wait.
around. It's kind of terrifying.
I think I know. Wait, it chases you around.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I was thinking about. Do you guys ever play those games where they're not like mazes, but you're like following a path, and like it's like thicker at first, but then your wall gets really
Oh, with your mouse?
tiny. Yeah, and then if
Yeah.
you like, and then like some spooky
Yeah,
thing
the classic
pops up.
scary maze game. Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
There are, anybody who's interested, go on YouTube
Yep.
and look up Scary Maze Game, and you'll find plenty of people playing it and getting terrified.
Just unlocked some memories for me. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Those were happily suppressed.
Right, and generally the people who are playing it have no idea that something is going to pop up.
Oh yeah, lots of punched monitors.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we need to make a tile set of this with the colors dimmed down. And we're not going to use probably all 16 shades. That would be a little bit of overkill. I don't know. We can try it, I guess. But so we need to generate an array that has all of these images in it. So we're going to go ahead and make a variable here. We're going to call it tile set. And we're going to set this to be a just empty array. So let's go to arrays, empty array. Actually, we'll put in our base tile, which is this one right here. Okay, so we're now going to do a for index. Do that right here. We're going to do from 0 to 15. Actually, we're going to do 0 to 14, I guess, because we don't actually care about transparency. Actually, we'll do 0 to 13 because we don't care about transparency and we already have our first tile. So we need to do 14 tiles. So for each of these, what we're going to do is we're going to make a variable called temp image so that we have something to store it in. We're going to store a clone of our original tile. And then we're going to go into images and we're going to do the change color block. Go. So we're going to change the color in our temp image from white to, so this second argument, we could specify a number, but we're actually just going to use, this is just a number. This just maps to an index. So we can use our index plus, let's see, not transparency, not the first one. So it'll be index plus 2. Yeah. And we just want to add this to our array. Okay. All right, it's very important that we clone here. If we didn't clone, we would just be changing the one tile's color over and over again. So, all right, cool. So let's go ahead and make our tile set. I just put this in a function so I didn't clutter up my onStart. And now that we have our tile set, what we want to do is we want to, every time we move, we want to adjust the lighting. And the way we're going to adjust the lighting is we're going to go to each tile and figure out how far away from us it is. And based on how far away from us it is, we are going to set its darkness either, down a level. So let's make a function for this. We're just going to make a function called adjust lighting. Go. And we are going to start at the location. Let's see, I guess, do we have the number of tiles and columns inside of our tile map, Joey, or is that something I have to go to the tile utils extension for?
Was that in the tile map? Was there? I thought it was at the top there. Oh, that's not. That's camera width, not.
Yeah. No,
I think
it's
that
in tile util.
is unfortunately in tile util.
It's fine. It's true we don't use it very often.
It would be nice.
It would be nice, but it's really hard to add blocks in our editor, I've found.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
it's easy to add blocks just as.
yes, it's hard to get consensus. Okay, so the reason I added tile util was because I wanted to get the number of columns in our tile map. So this right here. And I want to set this to be our current tile map. So I think that's inside scene. Nope, is that also inside? Yeah, I guess it's also in tile as well. There we go. So get our current tile map's number of columns. And we're going to go ahead and make two variables now. We need an X and a Y. Columns is X. Rows is Y. By the way I changed this variable is you can just drag a variable on top, but I prefer to just right click on the variable and then you can choose a different variable in your program.
Nice.
Helpful tip that I did not discover until like using Arcade for like 2 years. Okay, so we're looping over every tile in the tile map. And for each of these tiles, we want to calculate the distance from the tile that we are on. So let's go ahead and get that tile. That is going to be the tile map location of the myself sprite. And to figure out the distance, we want the distance in tiles. We don't actually want the distance in pixels. So we're going to go ahead and actually have to code up our distance formula. So let's do it. Math, we want square root. We want some minuses. We want some squareds. And a plus. That. There we go. Now I just have to fill in the column and row stuff. So we're going to do, we want the X right here and the Y right here. And then we need to get the tile map location column and row. So go into scene. And we have a block right here that gets a property off of a location. So we'll get the column right there. And then we'll get the row right here. And every time you do math and blocks, it looks way scarier than it is. Let's just go over this real quick. So we are getting the distance formula, which is the square root of x minus x2 squared plus y minus y2 squared. So we have the square root of the tile map location column minus x squared plus tile map location row minus y squared. Distance formula. All right, we want to convert this into an integer. So we're going to go into math and we're going to just do floor, I guess. And now that we have an integer, we want to set the tile at that location to be the tile in our tile set that that integer corresponds to. So if we are on the tile where we started, the distance is going to be 0. And in that case, we're going to set our 0th tile, which is the white tile. Then every one that we go beyond is going to just set it, darker. So we can just go to set tile at location. And we're going to, for the actual tile arguments, go into arrays, do get value at, change this to be our tile set variable. That in there. There we go, the longest block in all of creation. And grab the X and Y. Beautiful. And what do we do with with functions that are super long? We hide them away. We pretend they don't exist. Collapse. All right, so in our move to function, we're going to go ahead and just call this adjust lighting after we move. And I don't have to do it in the else case, so I'll just do it for this case. And so we're going to start out with everything lit up, but now I move and whoa, okay, whoops. Ooh, all right. Ooh, oh, we didn't think about something. All right, so what's happening? I forgot that we don't want to set it if it's transparent in the tile map.
Don't want to set it if it's transparent in the tile.
Sensible.
Yeah, that's a good point. Or if it's a wall. Do we have
No, we do want to. We explicitly want to set it if it's a wall.
I mean the other way around. If it's not a wall, I should have said yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll do it that way. Where is the as well block? There it is. And we're just going to put in the X, Y, and put that in there. Okay. So now when I move, should snap, and yeah, it's working. Look at that.
Wow, pretty smooth.
Ooh.
I wonder if we need to make it fade out faster.
Yeah, that's
Still
what I
looks
was.
like a pretty well lit hallway.
Yeah.
That's what I was planning on doing. It's weird though. This actually looks kind of perfect, which is crazy. It doesn't look spooky, but like I guess the distance here is enough that this is actually looks like proper lighting.
Right.
Yeah,
You know
it
what would
looks
be
like a
fun
smooth.
is if we had this on at first, and then you go somewhere and you click a button, and then it drops to the other lighting. So variable lighting.
We could do that. Yeah.
Light switch simulator.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do that. We're gonna go ahead and, well, not the light switch thing just yet. We're going to change this a little bit. So we're calculating, okay, I need to break this up because this is just insane. So we're gonna do tile index. We're gonna set our tile index to be the math. There we go. And now I'm going to take this tile index and we want to clamp it. And also we want to multiply it by something to move us, closer. So inside math, we have a constrain. We're going to be using that. And the reason we're using this constrain is because once we get far enough away, we want to make sure that we're not getting to the edge of our tile set and just running past the end of the array and doing undefined. I don't actually think our program will break, but something weird will happen at the edges of view, and we don't want that to happen, but it won't throw an exception. So we're going to constrain this between 0 and the length of our tile set, -1. And we're going to take our tile index and we are going to multiply it by something. So let's just try what Thomas suggested. We're just going to multiply it by 2. Oh, and let's call this adjust lighting inside of our onStart, so that we don't have to keep moving to actually see the results of what we're doing. Turn, turn, move, 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 move. Move, 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 move. Okay, now it's not doing anything. Oh, tile set get value at 0. Yeah, that won't work. There we go. All right, so now it's getting dark twice as fast. That's definitely spookier.
I think maybe we should start at a darker place too. Like maybe it shouldn't be so bright at
Yeah.
the current
Yeah, that's a good
spot.
idea.
Okay, so let's shift it. So we're just going to go to math and do a plus here, and we will shift it to be 4 shades darker. Do we like this?
Yeah,
I think
now
this
we're
is
talking.
better, yeah. Doesn't hurt my eyes as much.
Yeah. I'm still impressed with how good this lighting effect is. I did not expect this to work this well.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, well,
There you go.
sometimes, taking shortcuts in life works perfectly fine and you should just do it. Let's just try, we're going to multiply this. Well, I want to try a little bit darker. So let's try with 6. The problem with going darker is that it will fade out faster.
Faster, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could do 6, but then fade out at, instead of fading out at times
Yeah.
2, you could just do
Yeah, 1. Yeah.
times 1 fade.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Let's do times 1.5. Oh, sorry, we'll have to put that inside of the floor. Like that.
Good. Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
There we go. Yeah, okay, so this increases our view
Nice.
distance a bit. but starts at an overall darker. And I think this is a good compromise.
Yeah.
It also really just makes the hallways read a lot better when it's getting darker, because you can actually kind of tell the delineation between tiles now, which is hard to do before. All right, cool. I'm actually super happy with how this turned out. We didn't get to the part where we're actually going to make it spooky, but we're going to call it here today. We're definitely going to come back to this game, though, because I'm really jazzed about it. But I might wait till Thomas and Kim and Ben can be back on if they want to be, because it's fun. It's a lot of fun brainstorming all these things together, I think.
If we could end on a cliffhanger, what do we already know what the horror enemy is going to be?
Nope. We actually haven't even decided what horror thing we necessarily want to do. So if it's going to be like a thing chasing you, or if it's going to be like creepy things appearing in your field of vision, or just like, a creepy scenario, something along those lines.
I think something would pop out at you.
We could do a Banicula game. I don't know if we can get the license in time. Joey, you work on that, okay? I don't know who owns that IP, but
we'll find out.
Yeah. All right. See you guys on Monday. By the way, Monday is mini game jam. And we actually already have the theme, and we'll just say it now because Kim came up with it. Kim, what's the theme?
Yay. It's Collect Jam or Collection Jam. I'm not sure if we decided on.
I liked what Joey said, which was Collect a Jam.
Yeah, Collect a Jam. Yeah, so anything where you're collecting stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to be making a game for this one. I want to make like a gachapon game. So like a game where
we've never done that before, have we?
We've done a few of them on stream, and they're always fun. But yeah, so you just you put in a quarter, you get a random thing, and then you just try to build up your inventory of random things. It doesn't matter, but it's fun. So anyway, I'm Richard. I'm Richard on the MakeCode Forum.
I am Ben at Donuts on the MakeCode Forum.
Joey at J Wondrell on the MakeCode Forum.
Kim at Kim Codes on the MakeCode Forum.
I'm Thomas at TH Sparks on the MakeCode Forum.
And we'll see you guys on Monday. Keep an eye on the forum for that announcement. And see you later.
Bye.